Today I'm going to teach you a speaking skill that can help you improve your conversation with English speakers. It's how to answer negative questions. Before I get started, I want to mention that this tip or skill really depends on how negative questions are used in your first language. There are some languages, for example, like Portuguese, that use negative questions exactly the same way that we use them in English. And if that's the case for your first language, then this tip will be easy for you. But some languages use them differently, and this video should be very helpful. If this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is designed for English learners who want to go to school or work in English. I've been teaching English as a second language for almost 25 years, and on this channel I share tips for how to improve your writing, reading, speaking, pronunciation, vocabulary, and understanding of American culture. So, back to the video. I got the idea for this video because this is a very common mistake that my students make, and the problem is that it leads to misunderstanding. So let me tell you a little story to help you understand how this kind of situation would work. One day, a student of mine in my class did not have the textbook. We agreed that she would go to the bookstore, the college bookstore, after class to buy the book. So after class, she went to the bookstore to buy the book, and a few minutes later I left. And while I was walking to my office, I saw the student leaving the bookstore, but she didn't have the book or a bag in her hand. So what do you think that I was thinking? I was thinking that the bookstore had sold out or had run out of the book. But I wasn't 100% sure, so I asked her this question. They don't have the book? And she answered, yes. So, as you can imagine, this conversation left me feeling confused because I asked her, they don't have the book? And when she answered yes, I didn't understand. Yes, they have the book, or no, they don't have the book. This kind of conversation happens often in English. When I want to confirm or make sure that something is true and it's something that's negative, for example, they don't have the book, I can ask a question like this. They don't have the book? It's a statement, but I use rising intonation at the end to show that it's a question. Now, the way to answer this is, if it's true that they don't have the book, then the other person will answer no, or no, they don't. However, if they have the book, then the student or the person can say, yes, they do. So before we start practicing, let me give you a couple of tips to help you understand more about how to answer negative questions. Notice that we usually ask negative questions when we assume that something negative is true. For example, they don't have the book. When I saw my student with no book in her hand, I assumed that something negative, they don't have the book, was true. Therefore, if it's true that they don't have the book, then you can just answer no or no they don't. But if the opposite is true, if they have the book, then we would emphasize this by saying, yes, they do, or actually, they do. We wouldn't probably just say yes, we would probably emphasize it by saying, yes, they do, or actually, they do. For example, maybe for some reason you assume that I don't have kids. So if you ask me, you don't have kids? I'm going to answer, yes, I do, or actually, I do. I have 2 kids. Another tip for answering negative questions is to pay attention to the helping verb that is used in the question. In our example, they don't have the book. The helping verb is don't. So when you answer the question, you're going to use the same helping verb. No, they don't, or yes, they do. Of course, it's hard to hear all these little words in conversation, so if you hear a negative question but you don't catch the helping verb, you can do a couple of things. One thing is that you can just use no or yes, or you can say the whole sentence. So again, going back to our example, they don't have the book. Maybe you hear that it's a negative question, but you don't hear the helping verb, so you can just say, no, they don't have the book, or simply no. So let's practice answering 4 negative questions. We'll just do them quickly and then we'll look at each one in more detail. The first one is, you didn't get the job? No, I didn't. You don't have enough money? No, I don't. The computer isn't working? No, it isn't. You're not feeling well? No, I'm not. So let's look at each of these in more detail. For the first one, let's imagine that your friend applied for a job last week. And today you see your friend and your friend looks like this. What do you think happened? Probably your friend didn't get the job. So you can ask, you didn't get the job? And your friend will probably answer, no, I didn't. Let's try another one. My friend and I are going to the movies. I bought my ticket first, and I noticed that my friend is standing at the cashier for a long time. He's looking through his wallet, and finally he takes out some money, but he doesn't buy his ticket. What do I think? Well, I think that maybe he doesn't have enough money. So I ask him, you don't have enough money? And he answers, no, I don't. And I say, oh, no problem. I'll buy your ticket for you. Let's try 2 more. Let's imagine that you are in a classroom and the teacher is teaching the students how to use a computer program. And all the students are working fine, but there's one student who is having problems. What do you think happened? Maybe he can't log on the computer. Or maybe the computer isn't working, or maybe the program isn't working. So the teacher can go to the student and ask, you can't log on? And the student says, no, I can't. Or the teacher asks, the computer isn't working? And the student can say, no, it isn't. Finally, imagine that you come home from school and you see your roommate like this. Probably she is not feeling well. So you can ask her, you aren't feeling well? And she can say, no, I'm not. I have a bad headache. So remember that the best way to learn English is to practice it. So the next time that you are having a conversation with an English speaker, try to use a negative question and notice how the other person answers it. Also, the next time that you hear an English conversation, keep your ears open for negative questions. Maybe one of the speakers will ask a negative question and the other person will answer it. And you can pay attention to how they ask and answer. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thanks so much and take care.